cleaned up, within the city.
Lance, do you have just like a rough list of like blighted properties that not ones that we have discussed up here, other ones that they may be borderline, or they just.
I have one of the old ones, but I have to ride around and check and make sure that those are still valid.
Yeah.
What I actually inherited, but I do have some of those properties that that some of the updated properties that I can actually bring to your attention also.
Okay.
But they're not really in that bad of a shape.
Anything else, friend?
Lance, the two containers on behind the old city hall.
Yeah, I just told the chief we're gonna check on those next week.
Okay, because one of them is open with the bicycle.
It's open.
Yeah, I mean it's unlocked. I went in and I got it on my phone.
Okay.
But the other one with the files is locked.
Yeah, I just told the chief we was gonna actually go check those out next week.
We're gonna check on that first thing next week. And there's when you think about, I don't know how many bikes in there. I didn't get in there and count them.
Okay.
When you're looking at them, it might be something probably Charlene knows about, and Clerice. There may be some needy kids in the neighborhood that can use those bikes, and they've been there for years.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know the condition of them, but
That'll work. Like I said, we're gonna check it out first thing next week.
Anything else? Thank you.
All right. You have a good day.
Adjourn.
Public Works Committee, call to order. Assembly quorum, roll call, please. Here.
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 Number 4, discuss sewage service issue at the following resident, 780 Kentucky Street.
I came before you and was allowed to speak to the council on January the 11th. In the past 21 days, I've had 12 days when I could actually flush my toilets and not have problems. At the time, this has been going on since the end of November. I had Roto-Rooter come out at my expense to run a completely new line from my house to the street and to put a 6-inch overflow at the street. For 8 days after I talked to y'all, I could actually see the bottom of the pipe where there was no standing water. I was just thrilled. Then, January the 19th, I wake up, can't flush the toilets. I checked the overflows. I called the sewage yard. At about 9 a.m., city workers came. They said the lines were charged due to the overnight rain and that I would need to wait several hours until the 8th Street lines went down. They told me the pumps were running on California Avenue. I checked it throughout the day. At 4 p.m., there was still standing water in my overflow at the street, more than 2 feet deep, and nothing had been running in my house all day. Friday, January 20th, 7:54 a.m., I wake up, I go out, I check the overflows, still had several feet of water. In the overflow at the street, it still had several feet in the overflow at the street. At 8:43, I called the sewage yard, said the line was down, but he would come and check it out. At 10:05, there was still 23 inches of water in the overflow at the street. And I know this because I'm literally going out there with a metal yardstick and putting it down and measuring, because I know that if it gets over 2 feet, I can't flush the toilets. So I'm having to deal with all of that. I left, and so this is Friday. I get a call that my sister is getting rushed to the emergency room in an ambulance. I hop in my car and I leave. I left like at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, okay? I'm not even home. I don't get home till 1 o'clock in the morning. I go to bed. I get up the next morning. I'm not thinking. I use the bathroom, can't flush the toilets. Can't flush the toilets till Sunday afternoon, okay? That's how long it took, trying a couple times a day, going out, checking the lines. Couldn't do anything. So this is Saturday the 21st. Now, keep in mind, it hadn't rained. I woke up at 8. Okay, that was when I'm sorry, I'm getting my days are all mixed up. So that weekend, I couldn't wash clothes, take a shower, or use the dishwasher. I was heating water on the stove to wash my body because I couldn't let enough water run in the sink for it to get hot from the tankless hot water heater. So I had to heat water to dip a rag in to wash my body. 5 days, couldn't take a shower. stuff would back up. Toilets start gurgling, can't do anything. I wash, can't use dishwasher, so I'm washing dishes in a dish pan in the sink so I could go and throw it out in the yard. I'm literally living like a pioneer woman right here in the city of Port Allen. Monday, January 23rd, I called City Sewage and left a message. Then I called City Hall. I asked to talk to the mayor. He wasn't in. I left a message. I asked to be put on the agenda, and the person on the phone said he wasn't sure, but he thought I would need to talk to Rose, but she wasn't in. He put me through to her voicemail. And I admit, I was very frustrated. I left you a long message. I didn't talk to her. She didn't call back, but she put me on the agenda. Somebody did. Thank you. I called Clerice Lacy. I had sent a text to Mr. Hubble. He was out of town. Called Clerice, and thank you, Clerice, because she listened to me. She told me she understood. She said she would make some calls, okay? I go back inside around 9 o'clock. A city worker shows up. She tells me that I have to call Roto-Rooter because she's the only one that showed up for work that day. Okay, I go back in. I'm working. I mean, I have a job. I don't have time to just deal with city. So in the meantime, before I even had time to call Roto-Rooter, the mayor did call me back, and he said they would take care of it. I started my meeting at 10. Next thing I know, I've got the city worker, the mayor, and somebody else I didn't know out in the yard, and they're running the lines. Okay, this is on the 23rd. They cleared whatever. 23rd, 24th, 25th, 26th, everything's fine. On the 25th, I hear somebody outside. I go outside, and the city workers are out there with a camera, and they're trying to run the camera from my overflow through the street, and they're telling me that they can't because the grade is off. Now they're saying that somebody would call me because they don't want to tell me what the problem is because they don't want me to say that to somebody and get, whatever. I'm like, okay, well, nobody ever called about that. But my thing is, if Roto-Rooter came and they connected the pipes to the existing pipe at the house, run it straight down, and they connected it to the main city sewage at the street, I don't understand. I'm not a plumber, but I don't understand how now the grade is off. Especially since 8 days after they ran the line, everything was fine and I could see the bottom of the pipe. So that, I didn't buy that. But anyway, I had 4 good days, okay? So 25th was when they did the camera. 26th, 27th, all good. 4 consecutive days, no problem. Saturday, January 28th, and this is before it rained. Now, first of all, let me back up. On the Tuesday before that, when I had the 4 days, it rained for 4 hours in Port Allen, and I didn't have any problems. Even though it rained for 4 hours, I was overjoyed, thinking something is finally going right. January 28th, I washed 1 batch of clothes and ran the dishwasher around 3 p.m. in the afternoon. Now, this is before the rain started on Sunday. 4:13, I go to use the bathroom, can't flush the toilet. I called the after-hours dispatch number, and a city worker did come. It was a couple hours later, but he told me that the pump down the street was not running. He said he got it started, and he was going to get more gas. So I was able to flush the toilet around 5:15. Okay. Sunday the 29th, heavy rain all day. Honestly, I didn't expect anything to work that day. Both overflows completely full, couldn't use anything in the house. Monday the 30th, water still high, 3:30 in the afternoon. I mean, I didn't call because I knew it had rained the day before. I mean, I'm not unreasonable. But by 3:30 in the afternoon, they're down there working. I'm thinking something should be working now. Still no. Okay, so you're talking that's 31st, Tuesday 31st. I was able to flush the toilet, shower, and I did run the dishwasher without incident, but still had 19 inches of water in the overflow at the road. Still too high to wash clothes. Today, I was able to shower. I was able to flush the toilet, but there's a 90% chance of rain tomorrow. And I haven't washed clothes. I guess I will have another weekend without indoor plumbing. At 1 p.m. this afternoon, I had almost 3 feet of water in the overflow at the street, and the overflow at the back of the house was about 3 inches from the top. And it shouldn't have running water in there. If it's draining into the street, that shouldn't be happening. It's been 2 days since it rained, and there's no visible pump running on California. I know they were out there all day doing something a couple of days ago. I don't know what's happened, but it seems like every time they remove the barricade and they take down that pump, that external pump is not working, I start having problems. So you know, I'm here today, once again, asking to make this a priority. I mean, this has been going on since November. I've done my part. I've done everything that I've been asked to do. My next step will be get an attorney, get this on social media, and get it on the news. It's not something I want to do. It's not the way I want it to go. But I've got to have some kind of relief, and I've got to have it soon. I don't have the time to fight City Hall. I have a job, and I have a family member that needs almost constant, she needs lots of care, lots of things. I don't have time for this. But I also need to have consistent drainage. So I don't know, if you need to rerun my lines, cap me off from the businesses you say are causing the problem, that you don't have an ordinance to restrict, run my lines the other way if that's a problem. But I'm hearing tonight from other people in the city that's also having problems, so I'm not even thinking that's going to be a solution. I don't know what needs to be done. I don't know if you need to get a truck to suck out the grease weekly or whatever it takes, keep that pump on California Street working, relocate it. I just need somebody to do something, not in 6 months, not in a year or 5 years. I've been very patient. I've been very calm about all of this. I've lived with the stench of raw sewage in the drains in front of my property ever since I've lived there. I mean, you go out there, it smells like the sewage yard in the front. I've never said anything about that. I can deal with the stench in front of the property as long as I can drain from inside my house. I've had people tell me to call the Louisiana Department of Health and Sanitation, and I mean, of course, if I call them, then the front's going to be a problem as well as the back, because I'm having to leave the overflow at the back of the house open so that things don't back up into my tub, and that's, I mean, I can't even wash clothes because I know I've shown y'all pictures of what happens when I wash clothes. I'm talking about, just flushing the toilet, I've got to leave it open. I'm tired of excuses. I know that I'm saying all this, but nobody in this room wants to live that way. If you had this problem at your house, what would you be doing? I mean, would you be doing, is there something I should be doing differently than what I'm doing, asking you to please make this a priority and get it fixed for me? That's all I'm asking. I mean, we need the problem fixed, and we need it fixed permanently. I need to be able to use the facilities and the appliances within my home as they were meant to be used, and as each and every one of you use them in your home every day. That's all I have to say. I don't know if anybody else has anything. Anybody have a question?
No, we talked about that ordinance number 1 on the verbiage on that, or crafting that ordinance.
We'll have the introduction of the grease ordinance for next week.
Okay.
At the council meeting.
Okay. Is it feasible to reroute her line like she's requesting on Maryland for immediate relief? And if so, how soon? Because what we've got is a consistent chronicle of problems. If you've had years of problems on 8th Street, that whole thing needs to be revamped. You just get out there, get this thing done. I know that I've talked about when she's talking about sucking out the lines, we've had to borrow that truck from the parish, and it's kind of tiresome for us to go hand in hand to the parish all the time. I think we need to go ahead and immediately pull the trigger on either, you don't have to get a truck, because I have looked into it, and you can get a trailer that would suffice for this and take a quadrant of the city and divide it up